Hello, in this video, I will prove to you that every member of the Griffin family deserves to be in jail. Number 1. Peter takes advantage of a South American tribe in Season 4, Episode 13. Chris is excited about starting high school, but Joe and Cleveland warn him about the freshman hunt, which basically means second-year students will bully the newcomers.
Oh man, remember how much fun that was beating those freshmen silly?
Chris, terrified, stammers, asking if they're serious, and Peter reassures him, deadpan, "I'm serious," just like when I watched Paul Reiser do stand-up comedy.
What's the deal with airline food? I mean, is this stuff bad or what?
Oh, that's not nice. Those chefs work really hard.
And what's with those Starbucks, huh? They're everywhere.
A lot of people want coffee. That's supply and demand. It's the foundation of our entire economy, Paul.
That guy is so unfunny, it made Peter leave in despair.
And who do I talk to about those long lines at the ATM? That's what I want to know.
Not me, Mr. Reiser. Someone who has time to fritter away, but not me.
The next day, Lois drops Chris off at school, even though he's terrified of being bullied by the older kids. Instead of comforting him, Lois just pushes him into the chaos. Great mom material, right?
Now have a good day at school, sweetie. Freshman!
Unsurprisingly, Chris gets relentlessly paddled by the upperclassmen, and even Mayor West joins in on the bullying.
I'm going to teach you the lesson that it is not okay to be a freshman.
No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean.
After Lois pushes Peter to find a new job, he heads to a career center to see what's available. But let's be honest, Peter's dreams are as high as his standards are low. What's more, he wants a job that pays better than his weird gig for Sandy Duncan.
Hey, Sandy. Sandy,
What?
what are you buying?
Some breakfast cereal?
I don't get that. That's a bad cereal. Get some of the blueberry.
Guess what? He ends up at a brewery. Peter's more excited about that than he was about being paid to participate in some research study.
The only one who couldn't finish the puzzle is the fat one.
I'm sorry, I can't see what you're going for here. Let me look at... Oh, it's a jar of preserves. Oh, yeah, I guess that's what all the red pieces were, huh?
Back at home, Chris swears he'll never return to school after hearing Brian's tale of the Peace Corps, where he accidentally ended up on a different continent. Chris packs his bags and bolts.
Anyway, my point is that...
Hey, is Peter here? I want to rehire him. My new eye isn't working out.
Hey, Wheat Thins, take your top off.
The next morning, Peter is happily singing while having breakfast, finally feeling like one of those people who actually wants to get up and work in the morning, like a dairy cow.
Oh! Oh! Oh, yes! Yes! Oh!
Just then, Lois informs him that Chris has run off to South America, but Peter, being the great father that he is, cares more about his own antics.
Dumb! I'm bored with it now.
Chris parachutes into a South American village where the chief warmly greets him and introduces him to the tribe.
This is my daughter, Loca. My son, Hidalgo. And my cousin Vinny.
Hey, how you doing? Give me a word, any word at all, and I'll pronounce it funny for a nickel.
Chris calls home, saying he'll stay a month so everyone forgets he's a freshman before returning. On his first day at the brewery, Peter is thrilled to discover that staff get free beer, though it's forbidden during work hours. But guess what? No one can stop Peter from drinking whenever he wants.
Mr. Griffin, what happened to your pants?
Come here, you son of a bitch! Why do you close your eyes when we make love?
Free beer to Peter hoarding it and getting wasted at home, constantly embarrassing Meg in front of her friends.
Oh my God!
Hey, Meg, you see my pants? Oh, Lois, by the way, we're out of toilet paper.
He's a drunken mess on his first day, and even manages to drive home still tipsy.
Dad? What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, hey, buddy. I'll have a triple cheeseburger and a large fries, and, you sell pants?
Since Peter can't control his drinking, he's demoted to the delivery department where Angela supervises. The worst part, his new boss is the intellectually challenged Opie.
What did he say?
He said he wants you to put your finger in his mouth. If you value your job, I'd do it.
Ow!
Peter's frustration is palpable. This is worse than being Kevin Federline's mirror.
Magic mirror, how can I look like a douchebag today?
Well, Kevin, I would say first of all, don't shave or shower.
Okay, I won't.
And you just got out of bed, right?
Yeah.
Peter trolls Kevin by telling him to walk with confidence.
I would say just go ahead and wear that tank top all day.
Okay.
All right, so we covered the hygiene, no collared shirts. Oh, and don't forget to walk around with an undeserved sense of accomplishment.
Back home, Peter's fed up with being at the bottom of society's ladder, getting kicked around like when he worked in the lab with Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
Agreed, Peter.
Meanwhile, Chris is living the high life in South America, beloved by the villagers, especially the chief's daughter, who calls him a hero. Chris, of course, insists that Lou Gehrig's the real hero.
Excellent. As soon as I release this biological toxin into the world's water supply, I will rule the world. I'll call it Lou Gehrig's disease.
Chris was just mocking Lou Gehrig, because in reality, he's the one who's terrible and brings trouble upon himself.
I just have to remember to make sure this cap is screwed on tight. Well, I guess the joke's on me.
The villagers gift Chris traditional clothes, and when he puts them on, let's just say, I couldn't stop laughing at the sight of his plump little body squeezing into them.
We can see your genitals. Just kidding. Everyone's genitals are hanging out.
Really? Wow, this is just like Bible camp, only I'm not crying and trying to pretend I'm somewhere else.
Chris soon bonds with the villagers and even participates in a harvest dance. After the dance, the chief shocks Chris by announcing that he's now married to his daughter.
You have engaged the entire tribe in dance. According to our customs, you are now married to my daughter. I couldn't be happier.
Well, if you're happy, then I'm happy, because after all...
What?
Lois, fearing she's about to lose her son, rushes to South America to bring him home, but Chris refuses. He's happy there. Peter? He doesn't care. In fact, Peter, with a measly $37 in his pocket, somehow becomes the richest man in the village, worshipped like a god.
Hey, you guys got an ATM? I only got $37 on me.
Peter gleefully declares, "No Griffin has been this powerful since King Arthur Griffin, my ancestor."
Oh, Arthur, if you are able to draw the sword from the stone and prove to me you truly are the sole king of Camelot, I will make love to you right here in the clearing.
What if I could just move it an inch? Will you touch me?
Peter exploits the villagers' naivety, making them serve him like slaves, and even getting them to reenact the Seinfeld contest episode.
I am out. Huh? I am out. I have pleasured myself.
Meanwhile, Stewie hilariously films the strong, muscular natives.
Native man is an impressive physical specimen. Look closely at his sinewy, muscular form and unusual vitality. It is a thrill to watch him dig a ditch or lift a jug of water or participate in the hunt.
Cut, print, gay.
When Chris accuses Peter of taking advantage of the locals to avoid his own problems, Lois points out that Chris did the same thing. Suddenly enlightened, Chris apologizes to Loka, admitting he came to the village out of freshman fear.
I'm sorry, Loka. I guess I just came here because I was afraid of being a freshman.
But for some bizarre reason, the natives react exactly like upperclassmen back in Quahog, chasing the Griffins with spears and poisoned darts. They barely escape on a seaplane, but, as usual, the Griffins prove how utterly awful they are by leaving poor Meg behind.
Peter, I think we forgot Meg.
Number 2, blowing up a hospital in Season 7, Episode 6. Peter was sent upstairs by his boss to deliver a shipping report to the CEO, but feeling bored, he decided to tag along with a wise rabbi.
Do you charge a lot for your circumcisions?
No, I just keep the tips.
All right, where's the CEO's office?
When they arrived, Peter curiously wandered into the CEO's private bathroom. There, he got a real taste of the high life, being escorted to a beautiful, serene location just to use the restroom.
Welcome to Executive Bathroom Island.
Well, this is peaceful.
The next morning, Peter, dressed to impress, told Lois that he was going to strive to become a high-level executive. Lois naturally was thrilled, imagining Peter getting a promotion and making more money. But Peter quickly dashed her dreams, admitting that he was only doing it for the bathroom. He even vowed never to give up on his dream, just like when he turned his house into a hot air balloon.
And away we go.
Peter didn't just ruin his own house, he also wrecked Cleveland's poor house.
No, 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 no! I can't feel my legs!
Welcome to the party, pal.
No, wait, there they are.
Aw.
At work, Peter was making progress toward a promotion, but according to his record, Angela still didn't trust him. Confidently, Peter assured her that she should trust him because he hated being just another cog in the machine, almost as much as he hated homeless people asking him for money.
Spare some change?
Sure.
You didn't put anything in there.
Yes, I did. I put hope in there. Hope. Don't spend it all in one place, Raggy.
Somehow, Peter managed to create a robot to assist him with his tasks, which was programmed to never harm humans. Yet somehow, it still ended up kicking his butt.
Oh God, it's harming people! Angry, angry. Oh God, it's got human emotions too! It's using tools! It's learning, Angela! It's learning! Run!
Not one to quit, Peter then attempted something truly terrible. He tried to sabotage a competitor's billboard, but ended up blowing up a children's hospital instead, causing major casualties.
Oh God. Oh my God, this is horrible. Oh God. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, good Lord, save them. Bless their Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. All right, everything worked out.
After this disastrous stunt, Angela reluctantly promoted him. Peter's greatest joy, however, was the privilege of using the high-class bathroom.
Holy crap. You know, last week I ate a fortune cookie that said obvious lesbian will bring great news. It also said a grand piano will fall on me.
When Peter went to collect his key for the luxurious bathroom, HR informed him that he'd have to graduate high school to be considered for a leadership role. And just when you think it can't get any more ridiculous, a piano fell on his head.
Next time you get a fortune cookie, don't open it.
Isn't it hilarious that Peter had to go back and finish 3rd grade to get promoted? But because he was determined to live the high life, he begrudgingly accepted, complaining that this was more painful than his infamous clapping contest with Cleveland.
Hey! Clap one more time, you're not coming to my birthday. Who did that?
After introducing himself, Peter was seated next to Omar.
You're old. Are you stupid or something?
Oh, picking on the new kid, huh? Well, at least my parents didn't name me Gamer.
A difficult young kid. During class, Quagmire showed up pretending to be Peter's father to take him for a doctor's visit. But the teacher, noticing something off, pointed out that Quagmire didn't look like Peter's dad. He looked like another kid in class.
Daddy?
Oh, God!
Daddy?
Oh, God!
Papa?
Oh, God!
Panicked, Quagmire bolted, but in his haste, he stumbled into a room with a beautiful teacher, and, well, let's just say that cheered him up.
Hey, there are no kids in here, right?
Nope, just me.
Oh, thank God. You want to have unprotected sex?
After settling into his new school routine, Peter began bullying Omar.
Hey, Omar, want a Hertz donut?
Okay.
Hurts, don't it? Dumbass.
Thanks to his superior spelling skills, the teacher challenged Peter and Omar to a spelling bee, offering Peter a pass to move beyond 3rd grade if he won.
But if you lose, you fail.
I accept that challenge. Late 70s Bruce Jenner, take me home.
Hop on, Peter.
At home, Peter started getting nervous, doubting he could beat the kids. He thought it was as tough as trying to defeat Spoople's championship title.
Spoople!
Oh.
Don't be sad, Peter. That's why they call it Spoople.
In the final round of the spelling bee, Peter and Omar excelled, battling through hundreds of competitors until they faced off against each other.
We're now down to our final 2 competitors, Peter Griffin and Omar North Tower.
When Omar lost, Peter found himself 1 word away from victory: lesbians.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The 2 lesbians are going shopping.
Can you use it in a dirty sentence?
The 2 lesbians are going shopping for double-sided marital aids.
Damn.
Peter, the genius, asked Tom to give him an insult so he could spell it more easily.
Wait, can you use it in a libelous sentence?
Gillian Anderson and Helen Hunt are lesbians.
Lesbians.
Correct!
Back at the office, Peter joyously announced that he had completed 3rd grade and was ready for his promotion. However, Angela had some bad news for him. Since he blew up a children's hospital, he was now facing jail time.
What?
What, you think everyone just forgot about that? There was an investigation, fingerprints, forensic reports. 19 children died, Peter, and the FBI knows it was you.
But because he's the main character, he only had to serve a mere 7 days in prison.
Mr. Griffin, this court finds you guilty and sentences you to 7 days in prison. You'll be out next Sunday at 9.
Number 3, the Griffin family resorts to cannibalism in Season 11, Episode 1. The adventure kicks off when the Griffin family finds themselves disrespected by Ross Fishman, Lois's ex-boyfriend. To restore their honor, they decide to climb Mount Everest before the Fishman family.
You guys, we're climbing Mount Everest.
Let's do it!
Yay! I drank 7 cups of coffee at the Fishman's!
However, before reaching the mighty peak, they make a pit stop in Nepal to stock up on supplies. Peter naturally is confused about why this place is called Nepal, so let's just let God explain it to him.
The mountains look like nipples.
Well, you can't just call a country nipples.
What about Nepal?
Ooh, I like that.
Ha! Shocker. God gets it right.
Once in Nepal, the family splits up to gather what they need, agreeing to meet an hour later at a Tibetan yurt where a cow is performing a stand-up comedy routine. Yes, a cow. Only in Family Guy.
So, I've been carrying this really promiscuous guide around, and my back starts itching. I go to the doctor. Turns out I got sherpies.
Yeah, I'll meet you guys here. I'm just gonna be here.
Peter and Lois head off to find a donkey to carry their gear, and of course, Peter doesn't pick the strongest one. Nope, he chooses the coolest donkey, because why settle for practicality when you can have style?
I don't know what it is, but you have got it.
As they arrive at the base of Everest, the sheer scale of it leaves them in awe, except Peter, who decides now is the perfect time to confess that he forgot to turn off the lawnmower.
I think I might have left the weed whacker on.
But it's not long before they run into their rivals, the Fishmans, and Peter boldly declares they'll beat them to the top. The Fishmans just laugh it off, which only fuels Peter's determination.
Yeah, so you watch it, Fishman. We are gonna beat you so bad you'll think you gave Chris Brown an STD.
Is that what happened?
Ross keeps provoking him, suggesting the Griffins won't even make it up the mountain. Peter, in a moment of pure confidence, claims they'll summit first and enjoy the view, which he thinks will be even more glorious than when he graduated as a bone doctor. His words, not mine.
Robert Baker. Brad O'Bannon. Anyone.
The next morning, Brian pulls out a map to guide them, but Peter insists they don't need one. He's got a GPMS. It's like GPS, but with more Peter logic.
Go up. What do you think? Just go up.
Sorry.
Okay, can everyone just stop freaking out and just give me like 2 minutes? Come on.
Peter had to turn off the machine because it seemed to not be working as he expected.
Everyone's always yelling at me. What? All the questions.
All right, well, maybe we'll turn you on later and see how you feel. She was so nice in the store.
As they trek further, Stewie complains about the cold, which is somehow colder than Angelina Jolie's smile. Brian tells him to imagine a warm place, and Stewie dreams of being a rich guy at a casino with 2 beautiful women. But after losing all his money, the women bail, and Stewie's left all alone in the cold. Sounds like the plot of a very bizarre romantic comedy.
You want the heat on, sir?
Yes, please.
Back to reality, the Griffins are navigating a dangerous ravine, and Peter almost falls to his doom, except thankfully he doesn't.
Do any of them seem like they have any extra tampons in their backpack?
No.
No, like you checked and there aren't any, no? Or no, you're just assuming?
I'm embarrassed.
After a night of rest, they continue their climb, motivated by the fact that they're ahead of the Fishmans. But just when things are looking up, Peter pulls out his latest comedy bit.
Woo! Party! I love you guys. You don't know how much you mean to me. You think you're better than me? Why can't you hit a curveball? I've done nothing with my life.
It's an old classic. Let's climb a dangerous cliff. Meanwhile, Brian and Stewie accidentally bump into Sammy Davis Jr. Wait, what? Why is Sammy Davis Jr. living on Everest? Don't ask me, I don't have the answers.
What are you doing up here?
Whatever Frank tells me to do, man.
Hey, Sam, get back in here and carry my golf clubs.
Yes, boss.
Ugh, seems kind of racist, doesn't it?
No, because Sammy's in on it.
Okay.
After overcoming countless obstacles, they finally reach the summit.
I don't really know what the point is. I mean, there's no way other dogs can smell this.
Trust me, Stewie, they'll know. They'll know the world is now mine.
No way.
Brian marks the territory, thinking they've beaten the Fishmans, only to find out somehow they've already made it to the top first. Defeated, they start their descent, but things take a turn for the worse when a snowstorm hits. Peter, ever the optimist, decides it's a good time to strike a funny pose before potentially dying. Classic Peter.
Everyone get into a hilarious pose, so when they dig out our bodies, they'll have a good laugh.
This guy's pretty funny.
As they struggle down the mountain, they're not only battling the storm, but also hunger, because instead of buying dry food, Peter bought a playlist of cool tunes. Priorities, am I right?
And after this, it's Everybody Dance Now, and after that, it's Come Baby Come.
That sounds like Jock Jams.
It is similar to Jock Jams. It is Jock Jams.
The group is horrified when they discover that Ben Fishman has frozen to death. Lois suggests burying him, but Brian, ever the pragmatist, points out that they're starving and suggests something extreme.
We could
Could what?
eat him.
Brian!
Look, if we don't eat something soon, we're all gonna pass out from exhaustion and freeze to death just like him.
As they argue, Peter starts eating Ben. Yes, you read that right. Peter decides to start eating Ben.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this.
Oh, I thought we decided. I'm sorry.
The entire family joins in on the horrific act, and before they know it, they've committed cannibalism. Just imagine the horror.
I am oddly prepared for this.
Lois feels guilty and hopes Ben will forgive them, but Peter brushes it off, saying they had to eat like birds need to fly.
What do you mean you don't have our names on there? My wife and I absolutely have to be on this flight.
I'm doing the best I can, sir. Do you have your confirmation number?
It's really funny, isn't it? Two birds not flying but taking a plane. This is something only in Family Guy.
I think you'll find all the information you need on here.
Sir, this is just a piece of paper with the word South written on it.
Can I speak to your supervisor?
Then, when they bump into Ross and Pam searching for their son, they act like they don't know anything, casually walking down the mountain.
I just hope he's not trapped in some crevice somewhere.
Well, my gut tells me he'll be squeezing himself out of a crevice very soon.
Despite their descent, Lois's compassion gets the best of her.
We have to go back.
What? What are you talking about?
Kids, your mom is clearly delirious from the altitude. I say we leave her behind and marry that hot new assistant from my work.
And she convinces the family to turn back and rescue Ross and Pam from certain death. Luckily, they arrive just in time to save them from the clutches of fate.
Keep going, you're almost there. I found a rock I like.
This good deed saves a little face for the Griffins, but I still can't shake the image of them eating Ben. It's not exactly the kind of family bonding I'd recommend. I'll be honest, it haunts me. Number 4, the family hides Stewie's head injury in Season 8, Episode 15. So here's the scene. Chris sneaks into Meg's room and starts reading her diary. When Meg catches him, she chases after him, and as luck would have it, Stewie is casually strolling by the stairs.
Well, I'm off to buy imaginary groceries.
The two siblings collide with him, and poor Stewie falls down the stairs, knocked out cold. But instead of checking on Stewie's condition, Chris and Meg start pointing fingers at each other, because, you know, that's what any responsible family would do.
Do you think he's okay?
I don't know. God, you idiot, this is your fault!
My fault? You were the one chasing me!
You were the one reading my diary!
By the time Stewie comes to, his head wound looks absolutely horrific.
It's breakfast.
What do we do?
Is he breathing?
It looks like it. That's a good sign, right?
But wait, it gets better. Instead of rushing Stewie to the hospital, Chris and Meg decide the best course of action is to hide his injury from Lois. Yeah, because that's what normal people do, right?
I'm worried. Stewie's still unconscious.
Maybe he's just sleeping.
Is Stewie in here?
Yeah, yes.
Well, can you give him to me? It's time for his dinner.
Oh, don't worry, Mom. We'll bring him down.
So, what do? They dress Stewie up as a cowboy for dinner, and Lois is absolutely delighted, no questions asked.
Come on, Stewie, up in your high chair.
Boy, he must be starving.
Yep, he's really chowing down.
Hey, how's the food, Stewie? Oi, blimey, it's a right delicious, I do declare. Waka waka.
I have to give it to Chris and Meg, though. They really put their heads together and made this ridiculous cover-up plan work. It's like they're the Bond villains of the Griffin household.
Elijah Wood.
Oh, Elijah Wood. I got a little bit of a crush on him, I have.
Then, just to spice things up a bit, we get a random scene in the kitchen where Peter Griffin, being the comedy king he is, somehow turns the dining room into zero gravity for a solid 5 seconds. Because of course, why not?
1, 2, 3. Yes! I got 5 seconds. Ha! No gravity.
The next day, Stewie's condition is looking even worse, and I am shocked at Chris's approach to treating Stewie's wound. His brilliant idea used soap to disinfect the open wound. Yep, soap.
Maybe we should take him to the hospital. I think the maggots have evolved to the point that they've developed space travel.
Because who needs actual medical supplies when you've got a bar of soap, right? As Chris is brushing Stewie's wound with a toothbrush, Peter walks in and, get this, doesn't react at all. I guess that's just a typical day in Peter's world, where things can't possibly get worse than they already are.
Dad, I'm so sorry. We should have told somebody, but we were too scared, and I wanted to take him to the hospital, but Chris wouldn't let me.
Good, Chris. I've taught you well. You got the right instincts.
Oh, and here's a little gem. Peter proudly admits that when Chris and Meg were younger, he used to knock them out once a month. I mean, can't argue with that logic, right?
When you were babies, I used to knock you kids out every month or so. Sometimes by accident, sometimes when the Patriots lost. You just gotta cover it up, and eventually it all works out.
Peter then gives Chris the genius idea to cover up Stewie's head injury with hats. Stewie at the park today? Problem solved.
Chris, did you put a coonskin cap on Stewie?
No. Why? They look like little Robert.
Later that evening, the family gathers to watch Brian's TV show, which, let's be honest, is so boring it almost puts everyone to sleep.
Come on, Peter. Come on, kids. The show's about to start.
I'm coming. I was just getting Stewie. All right, got the little guy up from his nap. Say hello to everyone, Stewie.
But just as the show ends, Brian asks how they liked it, and surprise, surprise, they all hated it. In the midst of their disinterest, Peter somehow causes Stewie to fall on the floor. Whoops!
What'd you guys think? Not the worst thing in the world, right? Oh, ha ha!
Time for bed, Stewie.
A few days pass, and Stewie is still knocked out cold, so Peter finally decides to check the wound.
Oh, crap. You smell that? That's brain smell.
Surprise, surprise. It's starting to smell. Meg, the only semi-sane member of the Griffin family, urges Peter to take Stewie to the hospital. But Peter, being Peter, ignores her plea and hatches one final terrible plan.
Oh my God! Stewie!
He somehow manipulates Lois into thinking that everything is her fault, making her panic.
Oh God, what have I done?
Looks like you ran over him, Lois.
Oh no! He's unconscious. Peter, we have to cover this up.
Yeah, but what?
Lois is indeed a bad mother, only focusing on hiding her mistakes without caring about Stewie's health.
Let's put a hat on him to cover the wound, and then let's get some makeup and draw eyeballs on his eyelids and find a way to pin this on someone else.
I love you so much right now. Let's go to the hospital.
So, what do you think? Do the Griffins deserve a one-way ticket to hell for their behavior in this episode? Because, honestly, it's hard to argue otherwise. Lois encourages Quagmire to execute the attack in Season 3, Episode 5.
Hey there, sweetie. How old are you?
16.
18? You're first.
Mom!
I like where this is going. Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Meg wants to join the school cheerleading squad, but the snobby Connie refuses to accept her.
I'm here to try for cheerleading.
Peter Rabbit would be wise to stay out of Mr. McGregor's garden. Why don't you try the Flag Girl squad?
Not one to give up easily, Meg sets her sights on the flag team, where most of the members aren't exactly runway models.
Are you trying out for flag girl?
Join the blown.
When Meg comes home excited to announce she's made the flag team and will perform at the big football game, Lois is thrilled for her. But Peter, of course, only cares about his own antics with Chris.
Hey, Chris, I bet you can't do this.
I bet I can.
All right, Chris, I'll see your fork and raise you a gravy ladle.
You're on.
Meanwhile, Brian and Stewie can't help but mock Meg. Truly a picture of family bliss, isn't it?
So you're a flag girl. That's great, Meg.
Yes, yes.
Now you can be somewhere else when the boys don't call.
Before we move to the next scene, let's take a quick look at the ridiculous, hilarious antics Peter and Chris are up to. Don't worry, it's bound to have you in stitches.
I'm the man. Yeah. Yeah. Ah! Lois, go get the medical dictionary and look up fork and lung.
Why?
Time's a factor, Lois.
At school, Meg is all excited about performing at the big game, but Connie continues to look down on her.
Hey, maybe we could all, hang out after the game. Go team!
Uncool people are like animals.
Hey, you want to go feed the science club after school?
The whole family goes to the game to cheer Meg on, but as Meg is performing, Connie and her cruel friends launch rotten meat at her face. Instead of sympathy, everyone bursts into laughter, including her lovely father, Peter. What a great dad, right?
Yay, Meg! Ah, man, I love how these kids celebrate these days.
That evening, Meg is crushed by the cruel treatment from her friends, but Lois gives her some heartfelt advice. Use kindness to defeat the bullies at school.
Win your enemies over with unflappable kindness. Chris, drink your milk. It'll make you big and strong.
No more milk for him, Lois. He's had enough. Give me that.
The next day, Meg follows Lois's advice and is extra nice to Connie and her crew, even giving them a heads up about tomorrow's test. How did she get the test answers, you ask? She slept with the scary ghost named Burler.
Oh, the sun's up. I'm safe for another night. Thanks, Meg.
Wow, thanks.
See ya.
Meg comes home, excited, claiming that kindness worked. Connie stopped picking on her and even invited her to her 16th birthday party.
I'm like one of those bald eagles you see on the Discovery Channel. Beautiful to look at, but mess with one of my chicks and I'll use my razor-sharp talons to rip your eyes out. Cookies are done.
But Lois isn't so sure. It's time to deal with these nasty friends the way an eagle mom protects her young. Lois has a secret plan to get Connie's house blueprint, and Meg is totally shocked by her mom's skills.
Now, if we set up booby traps here,
How'd you get these blueprints?
Oh, your mother has her ways. She has her ways. Can I have the blueprints to the D'Amico house?
Sure, here you go.
Lois even preps a stun grenade, but in her excitement, she accidentally stuns both herself and Meg. Whoops.
Now I've put together a little flash bomb to create a diversion. I used to date the pyro guy from Whitesnake.
What's Whitesnake?
That's the music mommies and daddies listen to. Fire in the hole!
At Connie's house, Meg starts to feel uneasy and questions if this revenge plan is really worth it, especially since there are other kids there. Connie begins a game called 7 Minutes in Heaven and starts it by locking Meg and a handsome guy in a closet. Meg's face lights up, but she'll regret it. Trust me.
Okay, everyone get ready. Say hello to the lovers.
Sure enough, Connie pulls another prank and the gang laughs at Meg, even calling her less valuable than a pig.
I don't know who should be more humiliated, Meg or the pig.
She's such a dork.
I think I feel worse for the pig.
Poor Meg, crying as she runs to the car, wishing she'd followed Lois's plan. But fear not, Lois has a backup. Send Quagmire to deal with Connie.
Hey there, sweetie. How old are you?
16.
18. You're first.
Mom!
I like where this is going. Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Now, while Connie's definitely not a saint, sending a creepy guy like Quagmire to handle a teenage girl seems like a questionable parenting move on Lois's part. Just saying.